Hello friends, welcome to Bowl of Light Yoga. I'm Danielle. This grounding Hatha yoga practice will focus on the neck, shoulders, and hips. We will be working with the solar plexus chakra, Manipura chakra, and the heart chakra, Anahata chakra. I will be offering affirmations for these two chakras throughout the practice. If these affirmations don't resonate with you, you can choose your own or just choose not to use affirmations. I will be using blocks, a blanket, and you may want to have a strap or the tie from your robe nearby. This practice was created for the full moon lunar eclipse of November 2021. If you'd like to know more about the chakras we'll be working with or the astrology that influenced this practice, you can find that information in the description of this video or on Instagram at Bowl of Light Yoga. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. So to begin, we'll just come to a comfortable seated position. I like to prop the edge of my hips up, or I like to prop my hips up on the edge of my blanket, just finding a nice, long, tall spine. Tuck your chin just a bit to find length in the back of your neck. And maybe begin to close your eyes. As you begin to lengthen and deepen your inhales and exhales, just scan your body. Just taking notice of what comes up. If you'd like to set an intention for this practice, maybe thinking about what it is that you need to release, what is no longer serving you that you can let go of now. If your eyes are closed, you can gently blink them open. And we'll begin by just taking some slow shoulder rolls to the front. So you can bring your shoulders up by your ears, around front, and down back around. These should be slow movements. Try and sync it with your breath. Do two more in this direction. And reverse. Again, moving slowly, syncing the movement with your breath. Two more this way. And when you're finished, you can bring right ear to right shoulder. And you can start to walk your left fingertips away from your body, maybe floating your left hand up and off the floor to see how that feels in your neck. If you'd like to, you can gently place your right hand on your head, just providing a little bit of traction here, no pressure. And using right hand, you can gently help your head back up to the center, and we'll switch sides. Left ear to left shoulder, And right fingertips begin to walk away. Maybe lifting your hand up off the floor, seeing how that feels in your neck. And again, if you'd like, providing just a touch of traction with your left hand. And using your left hand to help your head back to center. We'll move through some side bends. Inhale, arms reach up and overhead. And as you exhale, right palm to the mat, left arm reaches up and over as you begin to bend into your elbow for a nice side stretch on the right. Breathing deeply, feel the space you're creating in the left side of your body. Next inhale returns you to center. Exhale, left hand to the mat. This time, right arm reaches up and over as you bend into your left elbow. And next inhale brings you back up to center. Exhale, hands to the mat. And we'll come into tabletop position. If you'd like to pad your knees with your blanket, go ahead and do so. We will be here for a little bit. So knees under hips, wrists are under shoulders. And on your inhale, raise right arm to the sky. And as you exhale, thread your right arm behind your left wrist as right shoulder and ear come to the mat. Breathe deeply. If you'd like to intensify the stretch in your upper back, you can press into your left hand. You may notice that your hips have fallen to one side. Bring them back right above your knees. One more full breath here. And on your next inhale, press firmly into your left hand. Right arm will reach up to the ceiling again. And on your exhale, set right hand down. Inhale, left arm reaches up to the sky. And on your exhale, thread left arm behind right wrist. Left ear and shoulder coming to the mat. Again, you can press into your right hand if you'd like. And make sure your hips stay over your knees. One more full breath here. Your next inhale, press firmly into your right hand. Left arm lifts up to the sky again. Exhale, left hand to the floor. Begin to walk your hands towards the corners, the front corners of your mat. Keeping your hips over your knees, begin to melt your heart towards your mat. You can rest your forehead on the mat. Or if it's available to you and you'd like a stretch in your throat, you can take your chin to the mat. I give and receive love easily. One more deep breath here. And on your next inhale, begin to press into your hands, walking your hands back to tabletop position. Once you're in tabletop position, you can engage your core, finding a long neutral spine. And then you can take right ear to right shoulder. Just begin to gently and slowly roll down over to the left and then slightly up over to the right. Try to sync these slow rolls with your breath. And next time left ear is by left shoulder, go ahead and reverse that. Again, slow movements, syncing with your breath. And next time your head reaches center, you can just return to neutral. Bring your big toes to touch, knees wide to the corners of to the edges of your mat, and begin to sink your hips back towards your feet. Go ahead and take your blocks. And as you walk your hands out and begin to lower your forehead to the mat, you can leave your hands up on the blocks and see how that feels different in your shoulders than leaving your hands on the floor. And if you'd like, you can bring the blocks closer to you, propping your elbows up on the blocks. Hands, palms come together in prayer. Lower your forehead to the mat. Thumbs come to your upper back. Two more deep breaths here. Your next inhale, you can begin to walk your hands back in. Go ahead and set your blocks off to the side. And coming back up to tabletop position, take your left knee to the center of your mat. Right knee will tuck behind left knee. And begin to push into your hands and walk yourself back to sit down onto the mat. Wherever, this can be a very intense hip stretch, so wherever you begin to feel pain, that means you've gone too far and you need to come back out a little bit. If it's available to you, you can walk yourself back, sending your hips in between your feet. You need to position yourself on your blanket a little bit if you're using one. And your feet can stay by your hips, or you can begin to walk your feet out so that they're parallel with the front edge of your mat. So left knee is stacked on top of right knee. Right arm will reach up to the sky, and bend your right elbow. So you can take your left hand to your right elbow. Just get a nice tricep stretch here in your right arm. You can take your left hand down, bending your elbow, and reach up for your hand. If you're not able to clasp your hands without rounding and losing the integrity in your spine, you might want to use your strap here. So finding a nice, long, tall spine. We'll take 5 deep breaths. On your next inhale, you can release your hands. Go ahead and uncross your legs here. Bring yourself back up to a tabletop position. And this time, bringing your right knee to the center of the mat. Tuck your left knee behind your right. And once again, begin to walk yourself back, finding the point of sensation. You should feel sensation in yoga. You should never feel pain. If you feel pain, you've gone too far. So if you're able to come back to sitting, you can choose where you'd like your feet. Right knee stacked on top of left. Left arm will reach up this time. Bend your elbow. You can take your elbow with your right hand, or you can reach down and around with your right hand, either taking the bind with your hands or using a strap. Keeping length in your spine, we'll take 5 deep breaths here. On your next inhale, you can release your hands, release your legs. Come on back to tabletop position. You can go ahead and move your blanket off to the side if you've been using it. We will use it again. Tucking your toes under, hands are planted firmly on the mat, fingers spreading wide. You want to press down through your knuckles. Begin to lift your hips to the sky for downward facing dog. You can lower one ankle, one heel to the ground at a time, pedaling out your legs. Your gaze is to your navel. Find length in the back of your neck here. On your next inhale, look between your hands and begin to walk to the front of your mat. Feet will be hips width apart. Bend your knees deeply and fold over your legs for Uttanasana, forward fold. I like to take opposite elbow here, just providing some traction for my back in this fold. You can maybe sway side to side a little bit here. Just find what feels good in your body. If you've taken opposite elbows, go ahead and gently lower your hands to the floor and ever so slowly begin to roll up, imagining that you're stacking one vertebra on top of the other. Shoulders, neck, and head are last to come up. Standing at the top of your mat, on your inhale, step your right foot back so that the pinky side edge of your foot is parallel to the back edge of your mat, bending into your front knee for warrior two. Your front heel should be in alignment with your back arch. Front knee pointing over your toes, and breathe deeply. I honor the power within me. One more deep breath here. And on your next inhale, straighten your front leg. Maybe heel toe your back foot in just a bit. Shift your hips to the right as you begin to reach to the front, and then fold your left hand towards the floor. Right hand reaches up to the sky for Trikonasana, triangle pose. You might find it useful here to use a block. We want length in both sides of the body in Trikonasana. One more full breath here. Your next inhale brings you back up to warrior two. As you exhale, cartwheel your hands to frame your front foot. Set the block off to the side for now. Step your left foot back to meet your right, finding yourself either in high plank position or lowering your knees. Shoulders are over wrists. And we want a long line of energy either from your knees to the crown of your head or your heels to the crown of your head. So engage your core. Want a long flat back, not piked up, not dipping down. Strong plank. If your knees are up, go ahead and lower your knees, and then bend your elbows. We'll lower down to the mat. Tops of your feet press firmly into the floor as you gently begin to peel your chest off the mat for Cobra. Keeping your shoulders down away from your ears. Breathe deeply. And gently lower yourself down. Tuck your toes under and push yourself up to either high plank or on your knees, and then raise your hips to the sky for downward facing dog. On your inhale, begin to lift your right leg up as high as you can. Once you've reached as high as you can, rotate your hips open to the right, bend your knee, and let your heel fall towards your hips. Keep your shoulders square to your mat. You can even look under your left arm here. On your next inhale, begin to square your hips back to your mat. Lower your right leg down. Look in between your hands and make your way to the top of your mat. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, arms sweep down, around, and up. palms meet above your head. Exhale, hands down through prayer. On your next inhale, step left foot back for warrior two. So pinky toe side of your foot is parallel to the back edge of your mat. Bending into your front knee. Arms are out to a T. Gaze is over your front fingers. Make sure your knee isn't splaying out or in. You want to keep it directly over your toes here. And if your knee has come out past your toes, that means you have too short of a stance. You need to widen your stance just a bit. Engage your core. Inner thighs are scissoring together here to support you. I honor the power within me. In your next inhale, you can straighten your front leg. Maybe heel toe your back foot in a bit if you'd like. Shifting your hips back, reaching forward, and then lowering right hand to the floor or to a block. Be sure to keep a micro bend in your front knee. You don't want to lock out your knee. And in triangle pose, you want to imagine that your body is in one plane. So everything is stacked. You're not folding forward. You're not falling backwards. Everything is stacked in one plane. Your next inhale brings you back up to warrior two. And exhale, hands frame the front foot. Stepping right foot back to either high plank or low plank this time, your choice. Finding one long line of energy. Make sure you're not dumping into your shoulders here. Keep lifted in your arms. Core is tightly engaged. Legs are activated. And we'll lower to our mats again. You can decide knees or lower through push-up. Tops of your feet press firmly into your mat. Elbows will come under your shoulders as you pull your heart through your shoulders for Sphinx pose. Or if you'd like, you can press into your hands, straightening your elbows for seal. Chin is parallel to the floor. One more full breath. And lowering down. Once again, tuck your toes under. Find your way through plank to downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift your left foot as high as it will go. Once you've reached as high as it will go, open your hips and then bend your knee, allowing your heel to fall towards your hips. Keep your shoulders square to the mat, looking under your right arm. On your next inhale, begin to square your hips to the mat. Lower your left foot. Look forward between your hands and walk to the top of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms sweep down, around, and up. At the top this time, interlace your fingers, flip your palms to the ceiling, and as you exhale, round through your upper back as you bring your hands forward. One more deep breath here. Inhale, arms reach back up. Exhale, release your fingers down by your sides. So putting your weight on your left foot, cross your right leg over your left, and you can just keep your foot here in a kickstand position. If you'd like to take the full double bind for eagle, you can wrap your toes behind your calf. Right elbow will come under left elbow, and you can either just take your shoulders here, kind of give yourself a big hug. You can bring the backs of your hands together, or if the double bind is available to you, you can bring the front of your hands together. Find a single point to focus on that isn't moving and begin to sink down into eagle. Find your balance and breathe. On your next inhale, begin to gently unwind and step your right foot back behind you. This time your toes are pointed towards the front corner of your mat, and your feet will be pretty wide apart here. You want a good supportive stance. Hips square to the front of your mat. You may want to even use your hands to help direct your hips, and bend into your front knee here for Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. When you feel stable, you can bring your arms up and begin to sink even lower. On your next inhale, clasp your hands behind your back. Find a bit of a back bend here. And then begin to fold forward, tucking your left shoulder to the inside of your left knee as you raise your hands to the ceiling. And find your balance in humble warrior. Inner thighs are scissoring together. Core is activated to keep you balanced. One more deep breath here. Go ahead and release your hands to the mat. Pivot your front foot, picking your heel up for runner's lunge. And then gently step your front foot to the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, arms come down, around, and up. Palms meet above your head. Exhale, hands through heart center. Eagle on the other side. This time, go ahead and take your left foot across your right. You can use your foot there as a kickstand, or taking the bind, wrap around your calf. Left elbow will come under right elbow. You can choose your hand variation, either holding your shoulders, the backs of your hands together, or taking the double bind with the front of your hands together. Find your dristi, your single point of focus, and begin to sink down into eagle. Your core will need to be activated here to help you find balance. On your next inhale, begin to unwind everything, stepping your left foot back, finding your Warrior 1 stance. Your toes are pointed towards the front left corner of your mat. Feet are wide to the edges of your mat. Bend into your front knee, warrior one. You'll need to engage your core here to support your lower back. And again, you should feel your inner thighs scissoring towards each other here. You interlace your fingers behind your back. On your inhale, find a back bend. And as you exhale, begin to fold forward, bringing right shoulder to the inside of right knee. Your hands come up to the ceiling. Staying active and engaged through your core and your legs will help you stay balanced. And release your hands, framing your front foot, popping your heel up, your back heel up for runner's lunge, and then you can step to the front of your mat, forward fold. Begin to heel toe your feet towards the edges of your mat. Your heels will stay on your mat. Toes will come out to the side. Begin to sink your hips towards the earth for Malasana. If you'd like to sit on a block, go ahead and prop yourself up on a block. Otherwise, tailbone is heavy, sinking to the earth. You can use your elbows to keep your legs from coming in here. Finding prayer hands. And let's take 5 deep breaths here. You can place your hands behind you. Begin to sit back. Right knee, right shin comes to the mat, parallel to the edge of your mat. Left shin will come on top, so your left ankle is stacked on top of your right knee, and your left knee is stacked on top of your right ankle. Keeping energy in your feet. Find a nice, long, tall spine. If this is enough of a stretch in your hips, stay here. If you're looking for a little more sensation, you can begin to walk your hands forward. I like to push into my hands a bit here to just keep my hips, my sits bones firmly planted on the floor. And if it's available to you, you can bring forearms to the floor. You begin to walk yourself back up if you have folded over. And extend your right leg. The sole of your left foot comes to the mat on the outside of your right knee. Right arm reaches up, finding length. Exhale, twist. Left arm, hand come behind to support you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Sole of your left foot should be firmly planted on the ground. I release judgment of myself and others. One more deep breath here. And then exhaling, unwind, and we'll just turn to the right for a quick counter stretch. Coming back to center. Bring the soles of your feet to the floor. Begin to rock back on your sits bones, hands behind your legs, and find a place where you can balance. If you'd like to move into Navasana, boat pose, you can begin to lift your knees, or lift your feet, keeping your knees bent. You can straighten your legs. You can extend your arms. Keep everything engaged and breathe. One more deep breath here. And then you can gently lower your left shin to the floor, parallel to the front of your mat. Right shin comes on top this time. Right heel is stacked on top of left knee. Right knee stacked on top of left ankle. Find length in your spine. If your top knee doesn't come all the way down, you can always use a block to fill in this space here. Use whatever you need to make yourself comfortable. You can fold up a blanket, padding in between your knee and ankle with a blanket can be nice. If it's available to you, you can begin to fold over. When you're folding over, you want to make sure that you're keeping a nice long spine. Otherwise, you'll lose the stretch in your hips. One more full breath here. And you can begin to gently push yourself back up if you've folded over. This time, left leg will extend long. Right leg comes to the outside, the sole of your right foot planted firmly on the floor. Left hand reaches up to the sky and twist. Inhale, find length. Exhale, twist. I release judgment of myself and others. You can gently begin to unwind. We'll just turn to the left for a counter stretch here. Coming back to center, go ahead and lower yourself down to your back. Soles of your feet are planted on the floor, knees to the sky, arms down by your side. And as you inhale, begin to curl your pelvis in and peel your back up off the mat, coming up for bridge. Inhale at the top. And exhale. One more deep breath here. Make sure your knees aren't splaying out to the side. Keep energy in your legs. And on your exhale, begin to slowly roll down. Upper back, middle back, lower back, pelvis. We'll do that one more time on inhale, curl pelvis up, peel your back up off the mat. And if you'd like to, you can clasp your hands underneath you this time and begin to shimmy yourself up onto your shoulders, intensifying the back bend here. Keeping your knees from falling out, active legs. And just breathe deeply. Keep length in the back of your neck. You don't want to be turning your head side to side here. Chin is tucked into your chest and your neck is not moving. You can release your hands, walk your shoulders back out, and slowly roll yourself back down. We're coming to supported fish. So take your blocks. And we'll set them up kind of in a T position with a little bit of a break there. You want to lay your upper back in between your shoulder blades on the block. It might take some adjusting to find a position that feels comfortable for you. And then your other block will come under your head. Your legs can come long, letting your feet fall open to the side. Or if it's more comfortable, you can bring soles of the feet together, letting your knees fall open. I extend love and compassion to all beings. Scan your body, looking for any areas of tension. If you find any, breathe into those areas and allow your exhale to relax and let go of that tension. We'll be moving into Shavasana now, final resting pose. If you'd like to stay here for Shavasana, you're welcome to do so. Otherwise, you can very carefully begin to roll yourself to one side, taking your blocks out from underneath you, and lying yourself long on the mat. Feet fall out to the side. Arms are wide to the side of your body, taking up some space. And begin to let go of any control over your breath. And just allow your body to fully relax into your mat as you absorb the benefits of your practice. I encourage you to pause this video and stay in Shavasana for as long as you can. When you're ready to come up, begin to invite some movement back into your body, wiggling your fingers and toes, maybe reaching your arms up overhead as you stretch long. And when you're ready, gently roll to one side, taking a full breath here. And then push yourself up to a seated position. Returning to the same position we started practice. Again, close your eyes and scan your body. Taking notice. Is anything different now than when we began? Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.